It was a rainy Tuesday night in the heart of New York City, the kind where the streets gleam like polished obsidian under the streetlights, and every cab horn sounds like a desperate plea. I was nursing a lukewarm coffee in a dimly lit diner, the fluorescent lights buzzing like angry bees overhead. That's when she burst through the door, her coat dripping puddles on the checkered floor, her eyes wild with a mix of fear and determination. She scanned the room, locked eyes with me, the only other soul there besides the sleepy waitress, and marched straight over. "I need a husband tonight," she begged, her voice cracking like thunder. My heart skipped a beat. What could I say? But my reply, just 6 words, left her utterly speechless. Stick around to find out what those words were, and if this story tugs at your heartstrings like it did mine, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales that remind us love can strike when we least expect it. Now, let's rewind to how it all began. Her name was Elena, a 32-year-old graphic designer with a laugh that could light up a blackout and eyes that held stories deeper than the Hudson River. I'd known her for years, ever since we met in college art class, where she doodled masterpieces on napkins while I struggled with stick figures. Back then, she was the free spirit, the one who dreamed of traveling the world, painting murals in Paris, and never settling down. Marriage? That's for people who run out of adventures, she'd say with a wink. I, on the other hand, was Alex, the quiet accountant who found solace in numbers because they never lied or left you hanging. I fell for her the moment she handed me that napkin sketch of a city skyline, but I buried it deep, convinced she'd never see me as more than the reliable friend who fixed her laptop or listened to her late-night rants. Life pulled us in different directions after graduation. Elena chased her dreams to Europe, sending postcards from Rome and Barcelona, each one a splash of color in my grayscale world. I stayed in the city, climbing the corporate ladder, dating sporadically but never committing. We'd reconnect every few years, coffee here, museum visit there, but it was always platonic, or so I told myself. Deep down, I carried a torch for her, flickering quietly in the background of my life. Then, 3 months ago, she called out of the blue. "Alex, I'm coming home. For good this time." Her voice sounded tired, laced with something I couldn't quite place. Excitement? Regret? I didn't push, I just offered to pick her up from the airport. When she stepped off the plane, she looked different, thinner, with shadows under her eyes that no concealer could hide. Over burgers at our old haunt, she spilled it all. Her adventures had turned sour. A bad breakup in Madrid with a guy who promised forever but delivered only heartbreak. Then, her visa troubles escalated, she'd overstayed in Europe, tangled in bureaucracy, and now faced deportation threats back home to the States. But the real kicker? Her grandmother, the woman who raised her after her parents died in a car accident when she was 10, was battling late-stage cancer. "Nana's all I have left, Alex," she whispered, tears streaming. "She wants to see me settled before she's gone. She's old school, you know. Thinks a woman my age needs a husband to be complete. I've been faking it, telling her I'm dating someone serious, but now she's insisting on meeting him at her birthday party next week." I listened, my heart aching for her. Elena had always been the strong one, the one who bounced back from falls with a brushstroke and a smile. But this? This was a storm she couldn't paint her way out of. "What are you going to do?" I asked, trying to sound casual while my mind raced. She shrugged, forcing a laugh. "Hire an actor? Fake a boyfriend? God, that sounds ridiculous." We parted that night with a hug that lingered a second too long, and I lay awake wondering if fate was finally giving me a sign. The days blurred into a whirlwind of support. I helped her unpack her tiny apartment, boxes filled with sketches of foreign landscapes and mementos from lovers past. We spent evenings at the hospital with Nana, a feisty 85-year-old with a wit sharper than her knitting needles. "So, when are you two tying the knot?" she'd tease, winking at me. Elena would blush and change the subject, but I saw the panic in her eyes. Her visa hearing loomed, and without stable ties to the US, a job, family, or yes, a spouse, her chances of staying were slim. "I can't leave her now," Elena confided one night as we walked through Central Park, leaves crunching underfoot. "She's fading, Alex. And I'm terrified of being alone after." That's when the first challenge hit hard. Elena's ex, Marco, showed up unannounced. Tall, charming, with that European accent that once swept her off her feet. He'd tracked her down, claiming he wanted to make things right. Over coffee, insisted upon by Elena for closure, I sat silently as he poured on the apologies. "I was a fool, mi amor. Let's start over. I can help with your visa, we can marry." My stomach twisted. Here was the perfect solution, handsome, worldly, everything I wasn't. But Elena hesitated, glancing at me with uncertainty. Later, she admitted, "He broke me once. I can't risk it again. But what choice do I have?" I wrestled with my feelings that week. Tell her the truth? Risk our friendship? Or watch her slip away into a loveless fix? The emotional depth of it all weighed on me like a soaked coat. Elena wasn't just desperate, she was grieving her lost dreams, her fading grandmother, her fractured heart. And me? I was the steady rock, but rocks don't get the girl, they get overlooked. One evening, as we sorted through old photos at her place, she broke down. "Why can't life be simple? Why do I have to beg for stability?" I held her as she sobbed, my own tears silent. In that moment, I knew I couldn't stay quiet. But fate threw another curveball. Nana took a turn for the worse. Rushed to the ER, tubes and monitors beeping like a countdown. Elena clung to her hand, whispering promises. "I'll be okay, Nana. I'll find someone who loves me like Grandpa loved you." The doctors gave her days, maybe weeks. Elena's visa hearing was rescheduled, earlier, of course, because bureaucracy has no heart. Panic set in. She started scrolling dating apps frantically, half joking about husband additions. I watched her unravel, my own resolve building. We argued one night, our first real fight. "You deserve better than a quick fix," I shouted. "Like what, Alex?" "Sitting alone forever," she fired back, eyes flashing. Resolution came in fragments. First, I confronted my fears. I confided in my sister, who smacked me upside the head, figuratively, and said, "Tell her, idiot. You've loved her for years." Then, Elena faced her past. She met Marco one last time, closing that chapter with a firm goodbye. "I need someone who sees me, not saves me," she told him. As for Nana, we brought her home for hospice, filling the room with her favorite flowers and Elena's art. It was there, amid the quiet beeps and soft conversations, that Elena's desperation peaked. She pulled me aside one afternoon. "Alex, I don't know what to do. The hearing's tomorrow. If I get deported, I might not make it back in time for the end." That night, the rain poured as if the sky wept for us all. Elena showed up at the diner where we'd agreed to meet, her face streaked with mascara. "I need a husband tonight," she begged, collapsing into the booth. The waitress raised an eyebrow but wisely busied herself elsewhere. Elena explained, a last-ditch idea from her lawyer. A quick marriage could buy time, prove ties to the US, but who? I can't ask a stranger. "Alex, you're my best friend. Would you pretend? Just on paper?" My heart pounded. This was it, the moment I'd dreamed of, twisted into something practical. But love isn't practical, it's raw, it's real. I took her hands, looked into those stormy eyes, and said the 6 words that had been burning in my soul, "I've loved you since the beginning." She froze, mouth agape, speechless. The diner spun around us, the rain a distant drum. Then, slowly, realization dawned. "You, what?" she whispered. I poured it out, the napkin sketch, the buried feelings, the years of quiet longing. I don't want to pretend, Elena. If we're doing this, let's do it for real. Marry me tonight, because I can't imagine a world without you in it. Tears flowed freely now, hers and mine. She nodded, a smile breaking through the storm. We found a 24-hour chapel, the kind with neon signs and Elvis impersonators, but it felt sacred. Nana, bless her, held on long enough to see the photos the next day, her frail hand squeezing ours. About time, she murmured with a grin. Elena's visa was approved, thanks to our ties. But more than that, we built something true. Challenges? Plenty. Blending lives, healing old wounds, navigating the what-ifs. But we faced them together, with emotional depth that only comes from vulnerability. Nana passed peacefully a month later, her last words a blessing, love like this? It's eternal. Today, Elena and I travel when we can, her art gracing galleries, my numbers keeping us grounded. Life's not perfect, whose is, but it's ours. If you're out there feeling lost, begging for a miracle, remember, sometimes the answer's been beside you all along. Love doesn't always roar, sometimes it whispers until you're ready to hear. So, if this story moved you, smash that like button, subscribe for more heartwarming tales, and share your own in the comments. Who knows? Your 6 words might change everything.